What's cooking, everybody? Dave Altizer here with Kinotika, and today we're talking about 10 things you didn't know about the Panasonic S1 and S1R. The first thing to know about the S1 and S1R is it has a bigger battery than the previous cameras from Panasonic. This is the G9 and it's using a really decent battery on this camera that lasts a pretty good time, but because the S1 and S1R are full frame sensors, they're gonna drain a lot more power than what one of these Micro Four Thirds sensors would do. So Panasonic made a totally new battery system for the S1 and S1R. I would assume that it's going to perform better than these. Well, we'll see. The second thing to know about the S1 and S1R is not only do we have a SD card slot, but we have an XQD card slot, kind of similar to the Nikon mirrorless system. Why is this important? Well, XQD is a really rugged format to use rather than a fragile SD card, and it records up to 400 megabits per second on the card. Why would you need such great megabit record time? Well, maybe the camera records 10-bit. We don't know. I'm just making an educated guess here, but I have a feeling that the S1 and S1R will be able to do 10-bit internal recording. Panasonic has not confirmed that. Nobody has told me that. When I said it to the rep yesterday, he gave me some body language that I'm kind of reading the cues off of. Maybe high 4K, maybe 10-bit. Do you happen to know any of those specs by chance?
We're really not, we don't have specifications that we're announcing on that yet.
I think this camera will do 10-bit internal. It's really the only way to compete in the market. So S1R, S1 with the XQD cards, we're gonna probably have some really great codec options in camera. The third thing to know about the Panasonic S1, S1R is it will be able to use the XLR module. Again, Panasonic did not confirm this with me, but I took that hot shoe cover off of the camera and looked inside and saw those two little pins that is in the A7 line and the GH5 line, which means that the XLR module that works on the GH5 and GH5S will work on the S1, S1R. That means that we're going to be getting some great video quality with good audio. Again, this isn't confirmed, so don't take my word for it, but I have a good feeling that it will work. The fourth thing to know about the S1 and S1R is there is no flip-out selfie screen. Why the heck did Panasonic do this? I have no idea. All their other cameras have flip-out screens, like even the ones that are designed more for photography have a flip-out selfie screen. I have no idea why this is happening. It's really frustrating. I know everybody on the internet is really pissed off that it has the Fuji system that has that weird, like, very angle thing that comes out and flips out to the side. No flip-out screen. Panasonic, if you're watching this, please put a freaking flip-out screen in the camera. The fifth thing to know about the Panasonic S1 and S1R is it has IBIS, or as they call it, dual OS. I don't know.
What we call dual OIS.
Because somebody else owns the trademark on that, I guess.
Maybe, yeah.
If the IBIS, or stabilization on sensor, is as good as the GH5 on the S1 and S1R, that will automatically make it one of the best full frame cameras with IBIS. If they can pull it off in full frame, it'll be amazing. That's kind of the big question mark though. I wonder if the reason the IBIS is so good on the GH5 is because the sensor size is so small. It has much more room to move around and stabilize that sensor. We'll see if Panasonic pulls it off with the S1 and S1R. I hope they will, and I think they can. The sixth thing to know about the Panasonic S1 and S1R is it's using a contrast-based autofocus system, which means for photos it might be okay, but for video it's just gonna suck. I wish that Panasonic would do phase detect on the autofocus sensor, because that just makes video autofocus so much better. Hopefully their algorithms and firmware has advanced enough to where contrast-based autofocus is better, but the truth is contrast-based video autofocus is just garbage, and I have a feeling it's gonna kind of suck. The seventh thing to know about the Panasonic S1 and S1R is you can actually use these fabulous Leica SL lenses on the camera. These lenses are ridiculously expensive. They're like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 each, but that does mean that we're gonna get some insane quality with these lenses. I mean, they're Leica Summilux lenses, for God's sake. So they're gonna be incredible lenses to use on the Panasonic S1 and S1R, and it is an option if you have a big shoot coming up. Just rent a $7,000 Leica lens and put it on your camera. You get autofocus and all the things that these lenses do on the Leica SL on the Panasonic. The eighth thing to know about the Panasonic S1 is Sigma is working with Panasonic and Leica to convert 14 of their lenses to the new L mount standard, which is going to be great. That means straight out of the gate, not only can you buy the Panasonic lenses, the extremely expensive Leica lenses, but you can also buy the Sigma Art lenses that everybody already loves and uses all the time. Not only can you buy the 14 different Sigma lenses for the new L mount, but if you already own a set of lenses in EF, Nikon, or Sony E-mount, you can actually send those lenses into Sigma and they'll convert it for you to the new L mount. The ninth thing to know about the S1 S1R is the body is actually a little chunky. It's chunky in a good way. It feels a lot like a DSLR, like a 5D or a 70D, for example. And I like that style for mirrorless because it makes it a lot easier to handhold when you're shooting, to put bigger lenses on it. That's the thing with this camera system is it's full frame, so we're gonna have bigger lenses than what we're used to on the GH5 and GH5S. So a chunkier, thicker grip, bigger body is going to just help with stabilization and with the balance of the lenses. And last but not least, the price. This camera is going to have to be competitive with the pricing to compete in the marketplace. This Sony a7 III is the new standard when it comes to price and performance. I'm really hoping that the S1 is around that $2,000 price point. The S1R is around the, I don't know, like $2,500 to $3,000 price point. If Panasonic nails it with the price, this camera is going to possibly be the best full-frame mirrorless camera on the market. I think overall the Panasonic S1 and S1R is a really exciting camera for the industry. We're getting 4K at 60 frames per second in full frame finally, and the potential of having 10-bit on the camera or externally. There's a lot of things that I don't know about this camera, a lot of things that Panasonic is just simply not telling us. It's still in a very early development stage, and hopefully we'll get more information over the next coming months. As soon as we get that, we will let you know. So make sure that you're subscribed to Kinatika to see all of the news on the Panasonic S1 and S1R. If you have any questions about the camera that I didn't answer in this video, then let us know in the comment section below. We're here for 2 more days. We'll try to get those questions answered. Once again, I'm Dave Altizer. This is Photokina 2018. See you next time.